Hi all, I'm Willa, and this is going to be more of like what things you should know for your first therapy appointment. And today actually was my first appointment for my therapy and whatnot, and so it was actually really fun and I talked a lot, but I'm going to go through with that a little bit, but it's going to be more about you and your experience and to help that go more smoothly. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so the first point that I'm going to go over is just don't overthink it. I know this can be a little bit difficult because, that's what we do, we overthink, but it's really key to just try to stay as calm as you can. A couple days before the appointment, map out your route to get there. Just make sure you know exactly how to get there so there's no bumps in the road. Make sure you know, the suite number it's going to be in and the parking lot or the parking garage that you think you're going to be parking in, and make sure to have extra cash or extra change for something that you have to pay to park there. Just try not to overthink. So the second point that I'm going to go over is that the therapist or the counselor or whoever you're going to try to talk to, they're not going to judge you. I know that can be a really impending, scary feeling about feeling judged or being rejected and whatnot, but they are professionals. If you're going to an actual private therapist for things that you're dealing with, they've most likely heard practically everything you're going to tell them before. So they're not really going to be surprised or or anything like that by what you're going to tell them. So, for example, when I was with my therapist today, several times she told me while I was telling her things, she was telling me that doesn't surprise me at all. I have heard many other people have these same experiences as you were having, so you are not alone. She basically just kept on kind of reassuring me that I'm not alone and that what I'm experiencing isn't completely abnormal. Many other people deal with this. So they're basically there to comfort you and support you and encourage you and not to judge you. So just don't worry about that. You're okay there. Now these next 2 points that I'm going to talk about are very important. They're basically just find some main points, main themes to your life that you need to make sure that are very important that you need to talk about with your therapist for during your first session. First point is make sure if you're one of those people who don't really know how to put your emotions or your experiences into words and to be able to describe how they've made you feel, really spend once you've made the decision and the appointment to actually go to therapy, just really make an effort to try to think about what you're actually going to talk about in therapy. Sometimes it gets a little awkward or something if the therapist is really the only one talking for the majority of the time. It'd be best if you already sort of know what you need to talk about. And that's okay if you don't really know how to be in therapy. Because, if you've never really been in therapy, then they're just sort of there to guide you and teach you. So that's okay. But just, think about certain events and certain things that have happened in your life that are really worth telling her, and what behaviors you've noticed yourself doing and having, and certain feelings. Whether it's just, I feel more sad during this time of year, or during this time of day, or when someone says this, or when I end up doing this. Just those things can be very helpful, even if it's as descriptive as sad, or I get angry, or any very simple words like that. That is much better than just sort of sitting there awkwardly I'm not really sure what to say. That's okay. And your therapist will help you through that, but already knowing what you need to talk about is really great, is like a really great step in order to go through with this process. The second sort of follow-up step that I have that actually relates more to me with my first appointment today is try to limit your main points, because if you've had a really, let's just say, colorful life, full of many events, full of many experiences, positive and negative, and you really, really want to talk about it because you haven't really been able to talk about it with many people in which they understand. So once you do find that person that understands, then you just want to vent and just explode all of it at them, which is good to do in therapy, but isn't exactly the right thing to do during the first session. So in the first session, it's important to just, as I said before in the last point, just tell them the most important things. You need to just cut down on the details. You gotta just know that those details will eventually come out anyway. And you might go back to a few stories in another session or something that you have and explain those details further because you really think they're important, because at least I'm the type of person that thinks details are so important. So important. But if you are kind of worried or anxious that you would easily forget these details, make sure to get out a notebook or like a Word doc that you can type or write down. So then you can remember all of those main details, or just like a moment that you felt where you're disassociating and you're feeling super numb and you can literally feel your legs becoming numb while you were having an anxiety attack or while this was happening or something. Any kind of extreme detail that you really want to elaborate on and explain to them so you just feel heard. That's great. That's great. But that's not exactly what needs to be said during your first session. So that was limiting your main points. So 3, for those stubborn people out there, it can be a little bit difficult to try to have an open mind. This, I know, for some people can be a bit difficult. Don't feel so closed off to ideas or little strategies or anything they want to try to implement with you that might help you. Be open to things like mindfulness and meditation. I know if you're not really that type of person, I'm pretty busy, so I don't know if I really have time. I've done meditation before a couple of times. That was sort of nice, but that was when I wasn't super stressed about a whole bunch of homework that was happening or something. So, I mean, whatever you want to do, but try to be open to it. Try to work around your schedule. And try to be try to be open to going back to the doctor to get a physical done and to get blood work done. And I know that can be a little scary because needles are scary. The therapist might really think that's a good idea to make sure that there's no other kind of health problems, like you don't already have like anemia or like some kind of vitamin deficiency. Like if just by taking more vitamin D supplements or other types of supplements that your moods or your just overall well-being can be substantially increased just by taking vitamin D. Try to be open to that, as well as medication. I want my body, with its own levels and whatnot in my head, to get better on its own through behavior and practice and with time. I am open to, if I am that bad, that I've been like denying myself that I've been that bad and I don't really get better, I am open to taking some kind of meds. Anyway, so be open to different types of medications. Just know that therapy, just doing therapy, can help so much. So for now, we have basically just the first therapist you go to doesn't have to be the one you stay at. If things seem a little too weird, a little too uncomfortable, a little too awkward, or it's just not really working out, like if you feel judged by them, because there are some therapists that when you walk in, they start talking to you, they're super friendly, they just make you feel so welcome, and they're great practically immediately, like mine was today, thankfully. So just know that it's okay to basically just keep on looking for people who would work best with your insurance. So the first person that you do see doesn't have to be the only person you ever see. And 5, lastly, just try to make sure to bring things that you need. So the 2 main important things that you need are going to be your personal ID, and make sure to have your insurance ID card. Make sure that it has an expiration date and an ID number and like a 1-800 number on the back saying a number that they would be able to contact that certain insurance company. So those are the 2 things you for sure need. Other things that you could possibly want to bring is a sweater, because a lot of times the therapist office is a bit cooler. Sometimes it's even downright cold. So I did feel a bit chilly. Also, one thing that you could do is also bring a bottle of water. So stay hydrated. And then lastly, maybe even bring a bag or a backpack or a folder if you want, because if it's your first time, you're most likely going to be bringing home a lot of paperwork, whether it's like ways to online manage your account or whatever, or pay bills that you get, like things that your insurance doesn't pay, and other things like that, like any more information that you need. They have this online thing, or anything that your therapist gives you to sort of like describe what you might be going through better. Little cards that have your therapist's information on it and things like that. I came home with like at least 5 pieces of paper and like a pamphlet and a bookmark. Like, even like she gave me a map of the area and like stars on areas where there's good parking. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Just don't forget to bring things that you for sure need. Thank you for watching, and leave a like if you thought that this was informative. Today I did have my first appointment. Yeah, good job. No one cares. Anyway, but this is just my opinion, so thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you in some way. So good luck on your first appointment. I hope it goes well. And I'm encouraging you, if you're sort of like on the edge, on the verge of maybe trying to go get an appointment, maybe trying to go talk to somebody, I'm encouraging you to do so. Even if it seems scary, it'll be better for you in the long run if you get help as soon as possible. Even if it's just about small things. Even if people tell you you're just overreacting, it's better for you to be able to talk about things like that with people who actually went to college for that. Or people who are more like compassionate, who will try to like really understand you. It's better to talk about stuff than hold it all in and bottle it up and hug it like it's your favorite thing in the world. Please have a... They shouldn't be your favorite thing in the world. Anyway, I'm Willa Wall. Thank you all for watching. Please have a good day. See you later.